Hey, 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 hey. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to, well, I guess this is not Terry's Financial Sense, but welcome to the 10 Days of Terry. Today is day 5 of the 10 days, and we're going to talk about the passion behind being a financial coach. So, yeah, hey, Miss Veronica. Miss Veronica is going to come on shortly. I'm just giving an introduction, and she's going to come on shortly too to talk a little bit about that passion. So I have been doing this, and let me get some background to what I'm doing. So my birthday is December 10th, right? Which is Monday. And so I decided what I'm going to do is give myself as a gift, give 10 days of myself to allow people to understand and to just get an intimate look into my life and what really is Terry Evans all about. Her. I talked about my beliefs. I talked about me being a mother. I talked about me being a wife. That was way too long last night, I know, and I just thank you all for sticking around and listening to me last night. But tonight I'm gonna talk about me as the financial coach tonight. Tomorrow I'll be talking about me as a sister, and so my sister's gonna be on with me tomorrow night. So I'm excited about that. But tonight we're gonna talk about just my passion of being a financial coach. And so in order to do this, I talk a whole lot about being a financial coach and my passion behind it and why I'm doing this. And most of the people I talk to it about, of course, is my husband, and then is a couple of other people, and Miss Veronica Neal. When I started my business as a financial coach, she was one to really encourage me. Actually, you know what? Let me get her on before I start talking. I'm gonna go ahead and add her. All right, I'm adding her right now. And let me share this to my group too while I'm thinking about it. Can I share? Can I share? Okay, Miss Veronica, I'm adding you before I get to talking. Hey, Miss V.
Hey.
So, what I was saying is, and well, let me share. Let me share. Y'all, you all share too, but let me share too. I got to share it into my free group so they can get the benefits of seeing this and not having to go out on all through Facebook and figure it out. So let me put them in there. Okay, so what I was saying, Miss Veronica, is that even before I decided to actually start the business as a financial coach, and I was talking to you about some direction and everything, and I talked your ear off about my passion for women, my passion for finances, and everything. And then, of course, a lot of our clients, came even through you. And so you get to hear it all. And y'all just know it's not that she used to, she still get to hear it all because I still go and talk her off.
Right.
And so I wanted her to come on and just let her talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I've talked to her about because I talked Miss Veronica's ears off about me being a financial and about finances. And I know a lot of things with you, Miss V, has changed. Over the time since we've been talking about this and me becoming a financial coach. So your life has changed even financially. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give the floor over to Miss Veronica, and I'm gonna let her talk about all the stuff I've been just talking her head off about and passion. Okay.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, well, first of all, it has been such a joy being able to kind of work with Terry. We work together like every month, but then we chit chat throughout the month and everything. And so when she got her business, Positive Treasures, started, I was like right there to help her strategize and kind of bring this vision to life. And so the passion that she has, one thing that I I remember even in the beginning, and I'm seeing her doing the very thing that we talked about, Terry. You was really big on educating people on finances, not just wanting them to get out of debt and then poof, everything disappear, and they don't necessarily know what all it entailed and what all that meant, but you wanted to educate them on step by step by step by step. And like you said, there was a few people that was in your boot camp that you originally met through me, and I get to hear some of the amazing things that they've learned in your boot camp. Not because, oh, my credit score is going up, or but because they have been educated by the amazing Terri Evans. And I guess that's what I like the most, that you are a teacher. You like to break things down so people can get it. So even when your work is done, they can continue on in these principles, these strategies, these concepts for the rest of their life. And I've been seeing you do just that. I think we start meeting in February.
Mm-hmm.
So from February to now, it's December. She have not gotten off of her path. She have not gotten off or got lost in all the fuss and all the social media. She's been staying focused on her dream, on the very thing that she wants to see manifest in people's life. And even more than that, whenever you join anything that Terri is doing, whether she's doing excuse me, whether she's doing a boot camp, if she's doing a class, if she's doing a free challenge, whatever it is that she's doing, she's gonna give 200%. I mean, if you pay this amount, you're gonna get much more than what you have paid. Trust me. So I would tell anybody to, go get up under here, up under Terry's wings, and allow her to teach you. Because the truth is, when it comes down to finances, a lot of us got habits, and some of them are not the best habits. And so with Terri, because she teaches you, you're learning new habits. You're learning why you spend the way you spend. You're learning how to invest. Some things that you may have never did, you get to learn this. So I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a person that I will be chasing and hunting down, okay, to help me in the area of finances. Now, I want to share with you some of the things that I've experienced. I guess just because me and Terri just been meeting every month, I believe some of that just have rubbed off on me. And I just, I'm always talk about how it's very, very important to your atmosphere, the people that you surround yourself with. I already kind of had I know I need to do something different with my finances attitude. Okay, I had that attitude, but I hadn't yet started implementing anything. But just talking to Terri, helping her strategize for her business and different things like that, I believe that just kind of rubbed I believe it kind of rubbed off on me. And so I was able to bring up my credit score by almost 200 points within about 4.5 months. Okay, like that was wild and crazy. Okay, I started paying people on time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, that's a big deal right there, just paying people on time. But not only that, not just raising up my credit score, I I also have another accountability, which is my husband. So I talk to him about random financial decisions that I would normally not talk to him about. I begin to talk to him because I've seen him make great decisions, and I want to be in that same boat. And so I feel like whenever you're really ready to change something in your life, you will submit yourself to the process, okay, and be committed
Mm-hmm.
to the process. So all the pride and all that stuff has to go out the window. Oh well, I go to work and I'm grown and I handle my own. If you handle your own, why are you in this type of debt? If you handle your own, why do you have a very low credit
That's
score?
why.
If you do all that,
Mm-hmm.
why are you having a problem? Okay. And so I have seen Terri, the very thing that she talked to me about. She said we strategize and she do it. She do it. She do it. She do it. And it's just been amazing seeing her grow.
Well, thank you, Miss B. I mean, you make me feel so good. But I wanted you to come on because I'm about to
Mm-hmm.
get to talking now, so you can stay on if you want. You can
Mm-hmm.
leave and listen if you want, however you want to do it. But I wanted you to come on because, like I said, besides my husband, no, besides God and my husband, you probably are the next person in line that I talk your head off about what I want to do, my dreams, um, how I want to implement things, why I'm doing this, and everything. So I wanted you to come on, just say yes. She's telling the truth. This is Terri. She's telling the truth. So yeah, she talks about this all the time. So yes, she is serious about this. So I needed some
Mm-hmm.
support tonight.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, she is everything that she say. Take it to heart because she knows what she's talking about when it comes down to finances and just in general. Great person to be around.
Thank you. Cause so
That's all you need with me,
that's
girl.
all. Honey, but you handled it. Thank. I know whenever I need something, I can call on Miss B because she gonna handle it for me. Thank you, girl.
All right, I'm gonna let you go. Love
Love you too.
you.
Okay, y'all. So when in talking with Miss Veronica, of course, she talked about what's going on right now, how I am right now. But let me give you all just a little background as to why I am as passionate as I am about the education and helping people get to where they need to be. Because in my life, and I have to use myself as an example because a lot of times you hear these financial coaches, you hear um, financial counselors. That's just like a weight loss person. You see somebody that's skinny that's trying to sell you a weight loss pill or a drink, and you look at them and say they don't understand because they ain't never been my size before. They don't know what it feels like when I need to eat me some chocolate or some whatever it is, ice cream. Mine is ice cream, y'all. But that's what we do. We look at them and we say, well, they don't know. Not knowing if maybe they used to be our size and just lost all the weight and not knowing their story. So I want you all to know the financial um what would be the word? The financial life behind the financial coach. Because I have gone through, mm, I have gone through a whole lot financially. And understand when I say I started from the bottom and I have worked my way, I'm not all the way up now, but I've worked my way to where I am now. I started literally at the bottom. Anybody that has listened to me over the past 3 days, you heard my testimony on Monday on how when I was separated from my first husband, getting ready to go through a divorce, how me and my daughter and being pregnant with my second child was living in a home that because we couldn't afford anything else, we was living in a home that didn't have a working tub, so we couldn't really take baths and shower. I had to go over to a friend's house or whatever whenever to every couple of days to take a shower or something. We went from that, and then we talked about yesterday, even when my husband and I got married, and how we didn't have a home. We were homeless, literally, and we had to stay in our pastor's shed at that time. It's like a little tool shed with no bathroom, using the baby's potty chair to use the bathroom, and with the air conditioner sitting on top of the table. Then we went from there to we moved to a trailer. Somebody kicked in our door in the trailer and just stole everything we had. And then we built up for a minute, and it was not really us building up because it was not our money. We were living off of the church. Basically, the church was taking care of us, and we still had nothing of our own, and no one was teaching us you know, what to do with the little bit that we had. So it was like we never, literally never had anything. And then when we lost our home, then because we left the church, when you all was listening to last night, we lost our home and we lost our vehicle, and we didn't have jobs because we had spent the last 10 years of our life working for the church. We were destitute because we didn't know anything about an emergency fund. We didn't know anything about saving for retirement. We didn't know anything about um, just investing and all these things. We had no clue. And so we had nothing in place to catch us. Then it went from there to, because we had nothing in place to catch us, we were taking credit cards. And see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. My mama, I love her for doing this. But because I was not taught and trained when she did it, I just messed things up then. My mother decided, well, you know, since you're trying and you don't have anything, I'm gonna make you an authorized signer on my credit card. Guess what I did? I took her credit card and I spent what I could on her credit card and couldn't pay for it. Then because my mother had an excellent, at that time she had like a 700 and something credit score, and still probably have 800 now. And I was able to offer her back, get some more credit cards. And what did I do with those? I took those credit cards and I maxed them out. And so, because I was paying my rent with the credit cards, I was paying my light bills with the credit cards, I was paying everything with the credit cards because we had no money coming in. So we were using the credit cards to sustain us, to sustain our just everyday life, you know. And so I understand what it means to come from nothing to something. And I understand the struggle of not having. Then I understand the struggle of when you have enough, but because you have no assignment to the money that you have, your money is going out of the window in 50 million trillion directions, and you still left with nothing. I have been just about everything that you can think of financially. I have gone through that. And I understand. I empathize, I sympathize, and I understand. That is why I have such a bulldog passion to want to educate people on their finances, on their financial health. First of all, knowing where do you stand financially? What does your financial health look like? Are you sickly financially, or are you healthy financially? Or somewhere in between. And then I grew up in the church. My father was a pastor. My and still is a pastor. We was assistant pastor for a church. When I say I was in church literally all my life, I have been in church all of my life. And the whole time I was in church, I had never, and y'all, I'm saying this seriously, I have never ever, up until recently, no one in church ever taught anything about what to do with the 90% that you get after you pay your tithes and your offering. No one I never heard that. And that really resonated with me because I'm like, you know, especially in the kingdom of God, if we're expected to feed the hungry, you know, to house and clothe the orphan and the widow, and to be able to give and to own property and to own banks and to do all these things, but nobody is training us what to do. You know, the kingdom of God is truly a kingdom, but nobody has taught the people in the kingdom how to function financially. So my passion is double fold. It's because I've experienced the lack and not having and not knowing what to do. And then I've experienced on the flip side being in church and having money, giving and expecting the windows of heaven to open up and not really having to have any type of responsibility for the other 90% that I have because I have given my tithe. And it's funny because that is how it was portrayed to me for so long, that if you give your tithes, if you give your offering, that's all you have to do. because now the windows of heaven are going to open up. Now, what you do with the other 90%, that's between you and you. But the blessings of God are going to flow in your life like never before. But I was never taught that after I give that 10, after I give my offering, that there is still something that I need to do with the other 90%. And that, to me, has really put us at a disadvantage because we haven't been trained. We haven't been trained that you need an emergency fund. If I had known, I don't think I even heard the terminology emergency fund until I was 40 years old before I heard the term emergency fund. And that's sad because we're in church. When is my day with the coach? Uh-oh. Your day is probably Sunday with the coach, Miss Shanika. So, shh. Okay. But, um, we're not taught these things. And so we have really put ourselves, the Bible tells us we're in this world, not of this world, but we don't know how to function in the world, you know, correctly because we get this money and we don't know what to do with it. Going back to even the stories that I used to hear in the Bible, right? And one of the stories was about the three men with the talents, and I never really interpreted it this way. I've heard it being taught that there was three men, the rich man, the master, whomever, had the three servants, and he was getting ready to leave, and he gave them one five, 110 talents or whatever. And then when he came back, the one with the 10 did good, and so he blessed them, and the other one did good, and he blessed them. Then the one with the one, he just buried his talent and didn't do anything with it. And so then the master or the rich man was mad at him and got upset because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. But did anybody say, we're worrying our kids and our kids in here? Well, girl, you're telling something. That's another thing. I'm gonna get there in just a minute. But did anybody teach? Even in the with the talents, that one, that what they were doing was investing. They were allowing the money to work for them. So they invested the money, which means they got a return on the money or some income off of the money. So now, when the rich man came back, he had additional income because they invested their money, right? So that means at some given point, they were taught to invest, right? We didn't hear that part in the church. And the reason why he was mad and had a problem with the one that did not invest, because he was taught to invest and he had the knowledge to do it and he was supposed to do it, but he didn't. Instead, he just sat on the money. Nobody told us that, right? No, nobody said that. But then, if going even further, I'm just really talking about my passion and why I'm so passionate about this. Even if I was at my kids' age, and I try to tell my children this, once you are to the point where you get a job where you really have money coming in consistently, if you don't do anything else, you need to start investing in your future into a retirement fund, because you don't want, and I'm gonna tell you, we talking about, Miss Nika was talking about wearing our kids inheritance, but I don't want my kids to have to financially take care of their mother. you know they're trying to take care of their family, but mom has eaten up all of her inheritance, or eaten up all of her finances, or her food, and so there is nothing left to take care of herself in her older years. So now the kids, instead of putting their money in their finances and being able to save, into their family, now they're having to take care of me. I don't want them to have to go through that. So now I am making sure that I'm preparing for my future. I might not have started when I should. If I had started at 18 and 19 years old, I'd be a millionaire by now. But I didn't. Even if I didn't do anything but put $25 in there a month, I would be close to being a millionaire right now. But because I didn't know that, I didn't start till later on in life. But I might not start until later in life, but I do know that I can still have a good two, three, $400,000 that can take care of me as well. But when our children get to that point, it ain't gonna be no Social Security. They can forget that one. They're going to have some money saved up. And so now they need to learn that they need to go ahead and start investing into their future. And we have to stop, pay attention, look at the times, and we're going to have to start educating our kids. Our children are going to have to start being educated. But we have to know it first so we can educate them. Again, this is where my passion is. And going back to what Miss Shanika said, how we are eating up the inheritance of our children. I want my family, I want my children, I want to reach forward and I want to reach backwards. I want to have enough that I can take care of, that my children's children's children will have something and they don't have to be like I did and start from the dirt up. And I want to be able to help my parents. They have, believe me, my parents, they got it together. They just didn't teach me, but they got it together. And but when it comes down to it, I don't want them to have to struggle for anything either. And our relationships were not just the best growing up, but you know what? It doesn't matter. This is my mom and dad, and I don't want them to have to struggle for anything either. So I want to take care of the generation behind me, and I want to take care of generations, plural, before me. And the only way I can do that is to, one, have the knowledge, two, execute the knowledge, and three, be in much prayer to make sure that you are following in the will of God. And I know this is not supposed to be financial sense, but it is what it is, because knowing my passion is still explaining to you, what's going on with finances. And it's some of us too that we have plenty of money. And we have plenty of money sitting in the bank, but we had no idea that we should not have emergency or life fund, or just have over a certain amount of money sitting in a savings account. Because if you do, you're just like the man with the one talent. You're just burying your money. After so much, even with your emergency fund, I know I've taught about having an emergency fund of 69 months, because if something happens to your job, you need to be able to take care of yourself, right? You need to have some backup. But if you're that person that have all the money sitting in the bank because you're afraid of what'll happen, because you want to have the liquid funds, liquid assets, there's such thing called a Roth IRA, where you can funnel that money over in there and it's still liquid, but at the end, but you will start making income off of that money. And so yes, you keep up to a certain amount in your savings account, but then you have to funnel some over here and another. But if nobody ever teaches us these things, we never know. If no one taught us, it is so easy to invest, y'all. It's so easy to invest. My 14-year-old is an investor now. She invests. I mean, it's different apps that you can have, a Robinhood, Stockpile, different ones that you can download to your phone and have, what, $5 every month put over in there and start investing $5. That's how I started my daughter. She started with $5. I was like, okay, $5. What do you like? We're gonna start with what you like, and we're gonna start investing so you can understand the concept of allowing your money to work for you. And she doesn't have a job. She's only 14, but she gets money, and so some of the money she gets once a month, she is putting money in there to invest. So it's stuff that we weren't taught. I was never taught investing. I was never taught retirement. I was never taught emergency fund. I was never taught spending triggers. What's a spending trigger? Is there such thing as a spending trigger? Yes, it's a such thing as a spending trigger. And I had never heard of a spending trigger until I was 40 years old. I'm telling you all, this is why I have a passion, because we need to know how to function. We need to know these things. Financial literacy is deep, y'all. It's deep. Financial literacy, not having the knowledge, we perish for the lack of knowledge. And we're doing exactly that. We're perishing because we don't know. And because we don't know, we don't do. And I want us to know and I want us to do. But at the same time, I believe that this is my calling, and I believe this is my business, because God has He allows our talents to make room for us. So my calling to women, to people that are struggling with their finances, that's making room for me, right? Let's go even further. As long as I was in church, and I'm not saying I'm not in church, but as long as I was going to church and everything, we um I saw people here and there start businesses and everything, but I never really heard that you need to utilize the talents that God gave you and go out there and allow your talents to make room for you. Let your talents, some of us are great cooks. Some of us are great interior decorators. Some of us are wonderful photographers. Some of us are, like me, have an analytical mind, financial sense. Some of us are great advisors. Some of us, I mean, just are good with your hands, so you can fix things. Plumbing, and it's funny because we associate everything with college, which college is good. Understand me. I would never tell anyone not to go to college. But hey, Keita, I would never tell anybody to go to college. But if college is not your thing, it is a whole world of things out here that you can do. But God put something in you. He put it in you to do something. And what He has put in you, if you utilize it, you can make just as much money as some of the people that has gone to college 15 years. I'm telling you, most of the people that, and you think about, all these tech people, a lot of them dropped out of college. They were not college graduates. A lot of people that we know, some of these people we know didn't even graduate high school, but they are multimillionaires. Why? Because God has given us something to utilize. And where we may have missed it, they didn't. And they're utilizing their gifts, and their gifts have made room for them. And even if we are in college and doing things, if we learn now, it's a lot of you. I have spoken to a lot of you about the college thing, and you're in college and you're about to graduate from college, or you in grad school and you're like, well, nobody really taught me, but now I need to learn. I'm gonna tell you, the millenniums, I didn't think the millennials would listen to me because I'm older, but for whatever reason, they're the ones that's been reaching out to me. Y'all, we got to get it together. We have to. Y'all, when I say it's a passion out of this world, passion, that is, it just makes, it does something to me, because I want so much for us. And not slighting any community, but the African American community, for whatever reason, and the church, we're so behind because we don't know. And because we don't know that we need to be taught these things, and we think, it's only one way. Yes, one way to salvation, but it's not one way to become a millionaire. You can do multiple things to make some money. So, and we think it's only one route to get there. And we have boxed ourselves in this box, and we have not allowed ourselves to think outside of that box and to really expand and increase, and really do something. So my passion and what I'm doing, and the reason why I am a financial coach, is I want us to bust that glass ceiling. I want us to break out of that cardboard box, and I want us to go and start owning, start building, start making something out of ourselves, start increasing the kingdom of God. So the kingdom, do y'all hear me? So we don't have to depend on the banks. We don't have to depend on Wall Street. We don't have to depend on this and that, because we gonna have it together. We will have it together, but we have to start somewhere. We have to. We have to start somewhere. And that somewhere is first thing we need to start with is educating ourselves, getting the wisdom that we need. That's what we need to do first and foremost. And if any pastors are on here, anybody that's in a church that has some pull, let me tell you, go talk to your pastor. Pastors, listen, you need to start talking to your people about what to do with that 90%. We got to start. We got to. Okay, yeah, we need stop sinning. Yes, we've heard that. We've heard that enough. Stop sinning. We know not to sin, but we don't know to invest. We know to not gossip. We know not to commit adultery and fornicate. We know these things, but we don't know that we need a budget every month. We don't know that we have some spending triggers that we need to get under control. We don't know that there's a such thing as a Roth IRA, a regular IRA, 401ks, 403bs, and so forth and so on, that we need to begin to invest into our future. We don't know that it is very simple to go ahead and start an investment account, and we can start as our children can start investing. Those are the things that we don't know, but those are the things that we're not being taught. But I really believe the problem with that is even some of the pastors don't know. And if you don't know, don't be ashamed to say you don't know. But find somebody that does and let them come in and help you so you can help your congregation. Because it's going to start there. We want to help each other. And people, we got to teach our children. I can honestly say I didn't teach my children what I was supposed to teach them, especially the older ones, because when they were children, this is when I was experiencing all the things I was talking about at first, and I didn't know. But when I went to school, and it was not all the schooling either that taught me. It was hard knocks that taught me. I learned through experience and education, and so now my younger children, they're getting the advantage of hearing it, but my older children are hearing it too, and they're not too old to start. So parents, you need to make sure that you are learning and you are getting the knowledge necessary so you can train your children, because they are this next generation. And we're talking about, everybody's talking about an entitled generation is what our kids are. That's what they call them, entitled. But you know what? We can call them entitled all we want, but if they don't know how to invest, if they don't know how to save, if they don't know how to write something as simple as write a check, do a budget, if they don't understand there's a such thing as spending triggers, and we can say entitlement all we want, but they're not gonna have nothing else. They're not gonna have anything either. So we got to start at home, and we're going to have to teach our children. But again, if we don't know, be honest enough with yourself to say, I don't know. And since I don't know, I need to reach out to somebody that does, and so I can learn these things and they can learn some things. And so church, I said you pastors, and I'm going to say it again, you pastors, a lot of us depend on the pastor, and we depend on the church. We put a lot on the church. We do. And since we know that a lot of people do that, we need to take advantage of it and start teaching them, and not just sitting up in church every Sunday going through the motions of something that they hear 2 or 3 times a year anyway. Let's start teaching something that they really need to make it in this world, since we are in the world. And being in the world, you need money. You need money to function. And so, not to say, I'm not saying anything bad about any pastor, so I need to clear that. I'm not putting my mouth on any man of God, but what I'm saying is, man of God, know what you know. If it's somebody in your congregation, if not, reach out to me, message me. You can message me. You can put something in the comments, your telephone number, email address, whatever. I will come to your church. Let me know. But find somebody that understands financial health and financial literacy, and begin to institute that in your church, in your community, in our homes. And that's it. That is where my passion is. I guess y'all said, Terry, you got a little bit too passionate tonight, but it is what it is. But you all understand this is where I stand. We need to start investing. We need to start budgeting. We need to start saving. We need to start making sure we have our retirement money somewhere put aside somewhere. We need to make sure that our money is making money for us and not just sitting somewhere doing nothing but collecting dust, or no, just giving the bank an opportunity to spend our money, because basically that's what they're doing, and they're not paying us for it. That's what's really happening. So people, let's educate ourselves. So that's all I have for tonight. And because this is not one of my usual financial sense, even though I talked about me as being a financial coach, I just hope that everything that I said tonight resonated with you. And if you know anyone that is struggling financially, if you know anyone that you can see, they got making good money, but they just cannot figure this thing out because they have not been trained, send them my way. I'm here. I talk to them. I love to talk to them. Set a complimentary. And it's sad, y'all, because I offer a complimentary. And you know what? I forgot I was supposed to be doing a drawing tonight. Tomorrow, I will be doing the drawing for all those that shared my post last week, for all those that joined the free group, Financial Living. You all can still go join that group, Financial Living. For all of those that signed up at the event Saturday, I will make sure that my sister draw a name for you all tomorrow to see who gets the free financial session, not the complimentary wealth transformation session, because that is just complimentary. That's about 30 minutes. But I'm talking about an hour, hour and a half of talking about what you all may be dealing with. So I will have that drawn tomorrow night. I do apologize, it's supposed to be tonight. But that's all I have for tonight, y'all. I love y'all, and I just pray blessings and increase over each and every one of you in Jesus' name. And I will talk to you all tomorrow night. You all have a good evening. Bye bye.